Hey guys, I'm Just a Dude and welcome to the I'm Just a Dude video channel, whether that be on YouTube, BitChute, or Brighteon. Today we're going to talk about Star Wars, the Rise of Skywalker, and actor John Boyega. He has some issues, or at least one major issue, with the new trilogy, with the Disney trilogy. And I don't blame him. Now, before we get into that, I want you to subscribe to my YouTube channel. Click on that little bell notification so every time I make an upload, you'll get to see it first. And remember, when you hit that little bell notification, there's a drop-down menu. Be sure to hit all to get the latest information and videos from my channel first. If you're on BitChute, hit that subscribe button. And if you're so inclined and would like to support what I do here, click that $ next to the subscribe button. Anything you could do would be greatly appreciated. All right, folks, without any further ado, let's get into the article. Star Wars actor John Boyega says he has one issue with the new Skywalker trilogy. I don't really like to call it the Skywalker trilogy. To me, it's the Disney trilogy, or the Disney sequel. Star Wars star John Boyega has detailed his one issue with the current sequel trilogy. The actor, who reprises the role of Finn in the upcoming Rise of Skywalker, compared the latest film series with the original trilogy in an interview with Hypebeast. I guess in the original Star Wars films, there was much more of a trio feel where it was essentially about Luke's journey. But Han and Leia, there was a strong dynamic. It's kind of a weird way to put it. Which I don't know how quickly we're going to be able to establish that long-term dynamic with Episode 9, he said. You're not going to be able to establish it, John. I'm sorry, it ain't going to happen. It should have been established in The Force Awakens, continued into The Last Jedi, and into this movie. But this is going to feel rushed and pushed, and you're not going to have that same dynamic continuing. But if it's exploring that dynamic, then that would be cool. It would be cool, but it's just a shame that you wasted a whole, picture on being separated from your trio, which should have been established a lot earlier. I do feel even after 3 films still, we don't know them as much as we got to know Han, Luke, and Leia. And maybe that's a great opportunity to get to know them a little bit more. Yeah, I mean, you're going to basically have no choice at this point because you're ramming everything into one film. It's really unfortunate, honestly, with the bad direction. And honestly, this does go on Kathleen Kennedy because she is the ringleader. She is the one that organizes all this stuff. She's the one that makes things happen. This kind of disorientation of filmmaking and storytelling within the Star Wars realm and genre and saga, it does rest on her shoulders. Regardless, even if she got orders from top, from say a Bob Iger or someone above her, it's her responsibility to have a coherent storyline and film series that intertwine perfectly with one another, have a goal in mind for each movie to get to the ultimate goal of the last film. Instead of having one guy direct the first one, another guy direct the second one, another guy direct the third one. And the thing is, there's nothing wrong with having different directors. It's when you don't have a consistent writing scheme or a plan from the beginning to the end where you're going to have trouble. George Lucas always had that plan. He always knew what the points were on the outline, where we got to hit this in the first movie, we got to hit this in the second movie, or we're going to hit this in the third movie. Not just kind of sporadically go, okay, this guy's going to say this in the first one, and this guy's going to say this in the second, and then this guy, we're going to do this in the third. Oh, the thing we're doing in the third, we really should have did that more in the first and in the second. We're not going to do that. We're going to try and squeeze it into the third one and try and get the juices flowing and that chemistry going, and it ain't going to happen. It just can't. It's physically impossible. It takes time to establish things like that, and it was squandered. The same thing with having Han, Luke, and Leia together in the first film. That was totally squandered. Totally squandered. What a missed opportunity. Continuing with the article, Boyega also expressed skepticism as to Finn's character arc in The Last Jedi, the second installment in the sequel trilogy. Disney trilogy, directed by Rian Johnson. He should have never been allowed to touch a Star Wars script. Continuing, The Force Awakens, I think, was the beginning of something quite solid. The Last Jedi, if I'm being honest, I'd say that was feeling a bit iffy for me, he said. The Force Awakens was okay, but I wouldn't argue anything solid on it. I think a lot of Star Wars fans were so hyped and so excited to see, Han, Luke, and Leia together again, that when that didn't happen, I think you lost all your solid footing. anything that was placed on solid ground, your footing, your basis for moving forward in a positive way, was squandered. Because you had 40 years worth of fans go to The Force Awakens and didn't see the trio, the original trio, the OG, get back together. Luke Skywalker being the greatest and most powerful Jedi of all time, established for 40 years, turned into an old hermit, begrudging old guy who didn't want to help anybody, all of a sudden was weak against Mary Sue, who beat him in a stick fight. This Master Jedi from a girl who just established her Force powers like, what, a couple days before? You have Han Solo, who became a deadbeat dad, left his wife, left his kid, abandoned everything he knew that was positive and uplifting in his life, and went back to the same life he had before his character had evolved in, Star Wars, Empire Strikes Back, and Return of the Jedi. It was a joke. Horrible writing. Horrible. Continue with the article. I didn't necessarily agree with a lot of the choices in that, and that's something that I spoke to Mark Hamill a lot about, and we had conversations about it. And it was hard for us because we were separated. So they wanted to commiserate together, and they couldn't. And I'm sure, quite honestly, John Boyega seems like a pretty upfront guy. And he probably held his tongue as long as he could. And it's probably torture for him to be in a Star Wars movie that he really doesn't love. I think he enjoys it. I think he's honored to be in it. But I don't think he truly, has a passion for it. Because it's not like George Lucas's Star Wars. It's Disney Star Wars. It's a totally different beast. Finally, The Rise of Skywalker, the final chapter in the Disney trilogy, will be released on 19 December in the UK and 20 December in the US. The Skywalker trilogy ended for me back in 1983 with Return of the Jedi. This nonsense that Disney and Lucasfilm have currently created under the guise and the leadership of Kathleen Kennedy and Bob Iger is a joke and should honestly be dismissed from canon. And if they don't dismiss it from canon, that's fine. It's not going to happen. It doesn't matter. As a fan, I'm dismissing it from canon. I don't recognize it except a big pile of junk. And this is nothing against John Boyega or Oscar Isaac or Daisy Ridley. I'm sure they're fine individuals. I'm sure they're very talented actors and actresses. And there's no ill will towards these people. But the writers, the directors, the creators, the leadership of Lucasfilm and Disney, they have much to be desired. They have a lot to learn. And until they do, they're not going to be making any kind of the money that Star Wars used to make. And honestly, I don't think they are. I think with the established fans of 40 plus years, I think they burned their bridges. And I think they know that. And the only way they're going to make money now is by actually going back to the OG stuff, the original trilogy stuff, and make money that way. That's the only way it's going to happen. So guys, you tell me, what do you think about this? Do you think that John Boyega is right? Do you think he's wrong? Do you think I'm right? Do you think I'm wrong? Leave your comments below and let us know what you think. And also, if you liked the video, I would appreciate it if you would like the video because it helps the analytics here on YouTube. YouTube's constantly changing and taking subscribers away from people. So double check if you subscribe to this channel. Please double check it and make sure you're still subscribed. And if you haven't subscribed yet, please do and click that little bell notification so every time I make an upload, you'll get to see it first. And be sure to hit all after you hit that little bell notification. And if you're on BitChute and you're so inclined, click that little subscribe button there. And if you'd like to support what I do here, go to BitChute, click that little $ next to the subscribe button. Any support you could offer would be greatly appreciated. Don't forget about my Brighteon page. That's my other video channel. I like to expand my videos everywhere I go, just in case something happens to YouTube or BitChute. I'll have 3 different video sharing platforms where you can always reach me and my content. And if you'd like to reach out to me personally, I'm on Twitter, Gab, Minds, and Instagram. And feel free to send me a message. All the links are down below. All right, guys, that's all I have for you today. Until next time, what do I always say? I say, God bless, guys. Take care. And until next time, bye now.